Hey y'all, and welcome back to Graphic Content, the show where I usually design something for one of my favorite wrestlers while telling you why they're one of my favorite wrestlers, but today is a little bit different because for the past half year or so, I've been doing my own personal wrestling art marathon over on Twitter at Fight Boy Show with the goal of creating 100 pieces of unique wrestling art before the end of 2023. And good news, everyone! I did exactly that. And along the way, I learned a whole lot about being a graphic designer and an artist, which is why today's graphic content isn't about a wrestler, it's all about 5 things I learned from the Wrestling Art Marathon about being a good graphic designer and how to do art, how to do art good, how to art good with online in wrestling, how to do good art with wrestling. Okay, the title needs work. First things first, don't be afraid to get weird. I mean, really get weird with what you're doing. Just stretch the limits of your imagination. I mean, when New South Wrestling asked me to make some promo posters for their We're All Mad Here event, I could have done something similar to their already existing posters. But the thing I realized is that if they wanted their already existing posters, they would have just gotten their graphic guy to do that. They came to me for me. So I gave them exactly that, with this poster featuring NWA Women's Champion Kenzie Page as the Queen of Hearts. It's surreal but minimalist, striking but simple. It's actually probably my favorite piece I made during the entire marathon, to be honest with you. However, in your quest to do things your way, you are bound to want to do more and more with your work, which is what brings me to point 2. Don't overcook it. If you followed my design work at all, you know I like to stray a lot more towards the grungy punk rock distressed look, and that's something I've had to carefully dial in, because if you go too far with it, it stops looking purposeful and instead just looks like a big mess. It's the difference between this piece I did for Swerve Strickland with some heavy distressing that seemed purposeful, and this piece I did for Effie that just kind of looks like angry spaghetti, to be honest with you. Just remember to trust your instincts. If you think you've gone too far, you have. If you think something needs to be cut, cut it out. And if you think you've done just enough, do a little bit less. You can always add more. Up next, and this is good advice for all visual artists out there, but get a Pinterest. I know, it's Pinterest, but still, there's no website I found that's easier to just consolidate a bunch of different pieces of art and use them to get inspiration for your next piece. Like I said earlier, I had to make 100 unique designs for the Wrestling Art Marathon, and having to do that just off the top of your head is really difficult. Pinterest helped me find different inspirations and starting points for me to help build out that portfolio. Which brings me to a bit of an addendum to this lesson. Get a Pinterest and steal from it as much as you can. If there is one lesson I can give every artist in the world, it's that quite literally, just start stealing shit. It's how you learn, it's how you get better, it's finding a piece of art that inspires you, analyzing how and why it works, and then trying to do it your own way. And believe me, 95% of the time, the art you're stealing from will end up looking nothing like your finished product. This piece I did for Brody Lee was just me trying to copy this David Bowie poster. The Chuck Taylor design I did a few months back was just this Blink-182 design. This Eddie Kingston design is just an old Kawada shirt that I ripped off. But no one knows that except me, and well, I guess everyone watching this video now, so keep it secret, keep it safe. Next up, remember to study your subject. Study the person you're designing for, the things they like, the type of character that they are. It helps you gain specificity in what you're doing, and specificity helps you focus in on what needs to be done and eventually allows you to have fun with it. For instance, the artwork I did for Matt Cardona a few months ago was fine, but nothing about it really screams Matt Cardona. It was just a vague bootleg design that I've honestly repeated a million times over when I run out of ideas. However, when I actually focused in on Matt Cardona and the things he enjoyed, like 80s and 90s memorabilia, I was able to come up with this design inspired by Nintendo Power. It's a lot more striking, specific, and definitely fits Cardona's vibe a whole lot more. Ethan Page likes toy collecting, so I made him a design inspired by old 80s toy blister packs. RJ City has a vintage TV surrealist vibe, so I made him a design inspired by retro TV advertising with some bright surreal colors in the background. Joey Janela did this photo shoot with a crown of thorns, so I turned it into a tarot card, which actually, I don't think the religious iconography matches up exactly there, but I think it looks cool as shit. And so did he, so that's all that matters. Remember, whether it's fan art or an actual design for a client, what you like does not matter. It's all about what they like, what they enjoy, and what story they want to put out into the world. It's your job to bring that story to life. And last but not least, remember to stay on your toes. Work fast, work efficiently, and utilize as many shortcuts as you need to get you where you need to go without sacrificing quality. A lot of people forget that last part, but it still has to look good. And a lot of that just comes with time and experience. Look, I had the advantage of doing 100 different designs to learn different shortcuts and tricks that help speed up my game, but that's not the only way I mean to stay on your toes. I also mean stay active on social media. Pay attention to what people are saying and wanting from designs. Follow other accounts in your field and learn from them and the way they do things. And most importantly, if someone has an idea for a design and tweets it out, just make the design. Legitimately, the other day, someone tweeted that they wanted a certain design and everyone was replying with their portfolios and resumes, and that's great for them. I just replied with the design they wanted, already made and ready to be emailed off as a high-quality PNG. And guess who got the job? Someone once tweeted that it'd be cool for the wrestling club to have faction gear like the NWO, and now they do. Carmen Michael once tweeted that he wanted a bright blue shirt like you'd see at Warped Tour, and now he does. Resumes and portfolios are great, but what people want more than anything else is efficiency. They want the job done quickly. They don't want to analyze your entire back catalog. Just give them what they want as quickly as possible. And finally, the last point, which I guess means that this is 6 things I learned, not 5. Whatever, I'll fix it in post. Just remember, no one has to give you permission to make cool shit. No one has to tell you to get started on making something dope, so just do it. The worst possible outcome is that no one retweets it, no one likes it, and you learn just a little bit more about your artistic process. At best, you get retweeted by Danhausen and get more views than your art has ever seen. Your art gets liked by a former WCW World Champion in David Arquette. You get DM'd by Warhorse and get to start designing real graphics for him. Your name gets spread around as someone that people want to work with. And look, this isn't me bragging. Okay, it is a little bit me bragging, but it's also something that you can do too. It's the snowball effect, y'all. Do a little cool shit today, and then you get to do more tomorrow, and then even more the next day. But if you sit on your ass waiting for someone to hire you or someone to pitch you an idea, you're gonna get nowhere. You gotta get the ball rolling, but don't worry, it's honestly not that hard. You just gotta make a design of Danhausen as a pizza mascot, and genuinely it was just all downhill from there. So there it is, just a few things I learned from my wrestling art marathon. What'd you think? Should I do more graphic design stuff, or should I stay in my lane and just keep talking about how Alberto Del Rio killed Santa that one time? Let me know in the comments down below. I try my best to listen to you guys and give you more of what you want. So if you want more design advice, if you want some more clinical, artistic stuff, let me know in the comments below. And of course, remember to subscribe for more Fight Boys in your feed every single week. And never forget, folks, that when you're a fight boy, you are a fight boy for life.